Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We got ourselves a Thirst Trap Thursday here. We got ourselves another great and fantastic episode with some amazing people from around the space. Gifted, Biggie Poppins, and the Jessica Yatrofsky. Jessica, the second episode here. You're a veteran at this point. How are you doing? Oh.
How do I sound?
No, there you
Fantastic.
go.
Do I sound okay?
You sound good. You look better.
Okay. Thanks. Kind of.
Gifted is not looking that hot again. Pixelated Gifted.
Yeah.
How we doing, Gif?
Like a gift.
And he's muted. Biggie.
Starting off on the right foot today, huh, Q?
Yeah, man. What's up? How you doing? I love the Moonbirds hat as usual. Good to see you,
Thank
friend.
you, sir. You got to represent, man.
It's awesome to spend pretty much every day with you in the Web3 space at this point, man. I'm having a great time.
Me too, my brother. Me too, dude. It's always like something new. That's something that like I think we take for granted in this space, right? Like,
Facts.
man, like I'm so excited today. I have a reveal for one of the projects I've been closely tracking, and by accumulating Kids of the Apocalypse on Solana. And man, it's reveal day today, so I'm just like all giddy inside. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to get to talking today.
Absolutely. We are going to have a lot of topics to cover. Obviously, Jay Yacht here is going to cover her OpenSea partnership and collaboration and her drop. I do want to point out real quick, we have some breaking news.
What happened now?
Somebody, Nox Darkness has a crush on somebody sitting up here on the show. Could be Biggie.
I think it's GIF. People got a man boner for him, huh? Have you been to any of those events? They go boner time on him.
Do they just flock? Is that I haven't seen him around male flockage.
Well, I feel like people run away from me at events, so that's the way I like it.
I'll be running towards you, Jess. I promise. Big hug. All right, so we just got off GM Web3. We're waiting to see if Gifted can fix his audio issues. I know we had like an audio switch up. He's like upgrading his set. But we do again have Biggie and Jess. Jess, how did you enjoy that GM Web3 morning show?
That was good. I told you I had to like split for a bit to wash my hair, and I did. It's clean. Yep.
There we
I know.
go.
I feel like GIF comes right in on when we're talking about beauty related things. I know he hates it. But yet, you're really coiffed as a person. So I feel like you secretly do like, when I talk about my hair. But yeah, my hair is naturally curly actually. So I straighten it for you guys,
Do you ever embrace the curls and enhance them?
Sometimes I actually get more compliments when I wear my hair curly, which I'm like, are you trying to make me like ugly?
No,
like you want me to be ugly?
It's a thing, Jess. I'm all about the curls.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of us guys, we have a thing about for curls. What can I say?
Okay. All right, we're
it's just
learning
non-traditional,
I learn new things about Biggie every episode. So
yeah,
this is where we all shoot our shot. Apparently, that's what we're doing today. What's up, Jess? Pew pew
pew pew pew.
Am I looking all right? Am I still pixelated?
Looking great,
No,
not pixelated. Audio's coming through good. So we will get.
Is he in front of art, or are you in front of a mural?
It is a mural of art.
Do you own the house you live in?
It's
that's
not a house.
Skid Row in
Yeah.
South
It's
Central.
not a house. But do I own this piece of art? Actually,
Yeah.
It's funny you ask. So this was created live at our event at the last ETH Denver. So we hosted a badass party at a place called the Armory, and we actually had two amazing artists, Risa Boogie and Chris Haven, I believe his name is. But they literally painted this. It's actually, you can't see the whole thing, but it's 4 panels of wood. It's 4 feet by 8 feet, and they live painted this. And then we did an auction at the end, and I won the auction because I thought it was so badass. So I literally had to figure out then how to ship this giant mural back to myself, to LA from Denver. And then I screwed it into my walls. So I screwed 4 panels, and it turned out to be a great backdrop. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Chungo money.
I was worried that it was like painted on the wall, and then you would have to, like drill
Yeah,
it.
no, I do have a Manny Lynx mural over there that is painted on the walls, but this is not.
Fantastic start to today's NFT Live. A fantastic start in chat as well. Arafim, Mike Erlinson, Prodigy is saying J-Yacht today. That is the rumor, and it has been confirmed. So she is sitting up here on the panel today. We're going to talk, her partnership and collaboration with OpenSea. I love how that timeline, that arc has played out. Like having it be the story broken about Coinbase NFT on GM Web3 and where you're at today. I love that arc.
There's more arcage to come too. Like that's only like one arc of many, I think.
Arcage.
Arcage. That's a technical term. More things coming in 2023. That's what we're in right now. Yeah, so I'm excited to break those stories in GM Web3 because I get to sit up there on the stage and no one else will let me talk in their spaces. So,
is that for fear of saying something that they don't want you to be said? Why won't they unleash the yacht?
No, I think, don't you think everyone's pretty much broken off and siloed into like their respective, morning spaces or what have you. And most of them, frankly, don't have women on the stage that are actually contributing in a real way. They'll like have somebody like on the side and she'll come in and say something every now and then or like, so I don't, I've never been accepted in those groups. And I also think they stopped promoting artists in those spaces and especially female artists in those spaces, not just, like, of course, like artists, unless you're like Frank the Gods, then they'll let you on the show like back to back to back to back to back.
Dear Solana community.
I'm just saying, like, people have picked their favorites and then they'll just talk about those artists for the rest of their time in the NFT space. And like, I want to say I understand that and be like, the empathetic, emu or whatever, Gary Vee, but I can't be empathetic to that because like that just shows to me that people aren't like evolving and growing and like expanding their knowledge base in terms of artists in the space, really making moves. So yeah, I feel like we do that in our spaces and
Absolutely.
Talk about different artists and all types of artists, right? Not just women, but like, queer artists and BIPOC artists and stuff like that. So, and they're welcome on the stage too. Like, hello. So
I love Sarah's script here egging you on too. Yeah, let it all out, Jess.
Here,
spill all the tea. Let's go. Because you know what, we do have the most inclusive, artist friendly space out there anywhere around, and I will also talk that shit. But also shout out Nobody Feels Time. Apparently they were at our East Denver party, saw this mural get painted in real time. That's pretty badass. Cool. Yeah.
All right, housekeeping for today before we get started. We're going to jump right into Jessica Yatrofsky's upcoming drop here. But we do have some housekeeping to get to. This is the tweet that you must retweet or like if you are going to stay here. There is no option. Yeah, we are forcing you to do this. Get as most people in here as possible. Also, I'm going to throw up a poll in chat as well. The GM poll is up. You got to hit that as well. We're just strong arming you. I want to throw up the poll saying, who is Nox Darkness having a crush on these days? You got 4 options. There's 4 pretty faces on this screen that you can choose from, and I will see what the results are for that poll. Otherwise, the second piece of housekeeping here is going to be Eat Denver. Of course, we're going to continue to talk about it. I'm going to throw up a nice QR code if you want to check that out. But Gif, you want to hit them with the latest from Web3 Denver? I feel like we get new people talking and new sponsors and new partnerships each day.
Yeah, this is developing as we speak in real time. New partners, new artists, new sponsors are all being added to this tremendous lineup. The best place to go to see the latest is that QR code right there, w3b3.life. That's the website. That's where that QR code will take you. That's the website. And we're updating that in real time as new people are added. But just to name a few of the recent additions, I have to start by naming Mo Runda. I am so excited Mo's coming. Y'all don't know. We love Mo so much. She is not only a tremendous artist, she's an amazing human being, a beautiful human being, and she's a lot of fun. First time and only time I got to hang out with her IRL was at the first, or not the first NFT NYC, but 2 NFT NYCs ago at the first Ape Fest. And, since then we've been friends and obviously talk a lot in spaces. And, we've collected her art, love to see her art and everything that she's working on. But she is now officially going to be in Denver. And so I'm strong arming her to end up being part of this program. But we added Jordan Lyle. That's a big one. So, Nifty Q, maybe you can add. I don't even know everything that he does. I'm newer to learning about Jordan Lyle, but he's a pretty big deal. I know. He's got quite a few different projects.
Yeah, Jordan's like a serial entrepreneur. I said he's worked at Consensus. Yeah. He's founded Meme. I brought that platform up a bunch of times. He also founded Nifties. He handed it off before all this bullshit that's happening with Nifties now. But he founded that platform, which was trying to bring those larger brands into the space. And I think a couple of their first drops did all right. So Jordan, big time.
He's a big dog serial entrepreneur, going to be doing some really cool discussions around like rapid iteration for artists at the Ant Life Gallery and at the Web3 Academy. We also have added officially Nifty Kit has come on board as a partner and a sponsor. We love Nifty Kit. We've done some different activations, small one-off activations with them in the past. I know Jess is definitely familiar with Nifty Kit, working closely with them, but they've officially come on as a sponsor, and we could not be more excited because, again, they're very much aligned with our ethos of empowering artists in the space and providing them with tools and transparency and, different ways to own their own art, their own smart contracts. So anyway, Nifty Kit, new sponsor added, very excited to have them be a big part of it. And then a couple others, Animated, and Steven Arcella's 322 Studio. Those are a couple other new partners that have come on just to create badass experiences and make it awesome.
I refuse to pull up the Chungos, but apparently we're having a Chungos party too. But I pulled up the Chungos too much on this episode already.
Chungos Mansion Party! It's happening. It's going to be one of the most memorable parts of ETH Denver 2023.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did I see Avagachi listed there as well?
They're listed. I'm not sure yet what we're doing with them, but they're involved somehow. Yeah.
Just killing me, man. Gonna miss you guys.
I can't read. I thought it said Avalanche.
Yeah.
Avalanche is cool too.
Avalanche has not sponsored us yet, but if they'd like to, we would be okay with that. We'd love to talk to you, Avalanche. AVAX, let's have a talk. Yes. Yo, that's a preview of what's going to be going down at the mansion party.
If I left that on for a second longer, Jess was about to leave. Her face when I played that song.
Yo.
Well, last time I was on here, it was Caroline. So I missed that actually.
We actually have an update from.
Oh, J-Paul! You're turning on the burr again. Let's fucking go!
Does that mean that we're going into a bull market?
Bull market's on, Jess.
Okay.
Have you checked CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap? We're green markets. I don't know what
I've not been on CoinGecko. I just go ETH to USD converter on Google. That's the alpha. And look at our friend Winebags. He knows what I'm talking about. He just clicks on links. We click on all the links. Yep.
Don't ask questions.
All the links.
Just click.
Click all the links.
Okay. All right. We are going to get started. I got the NFT Go Bag Check that we're going to hop into in just a second. But I figured the biggest news to ever hit the entirety of Web3 happened overnight. And I just figured that we should talk about it first. The Masked Singer's launching NFT experiences for fans.
Huge.
Just absolutely fucking gigantic for the space. This is going to take us into the next stratosphere.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, this is all we do here is seriosity.
I'm being completely sarcastic. I hate the Masked Singer. I think it encapsulates everything wrong with mass media in the way that America operates. So
what do you mean? Rudy Giuliani freaking killed it, bro. What are you talking about?
That
That's
one
true.
specifically.
Yeah.
So
I don't
anyways,
like that show. It freaks me out.
it does. It does. Like, who watches that? Who turns it on like a Monday night and is like, I'm getting ready?
But if you were
People
asked
that
to
like to-
host, would you take the gig?
Take
That's a
that
different
fat
question.
studio check. Take that check, bro.
I would take the gig. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I've never watched this. Let's go.
Would I get paid to do that? Yes. Would I
What-
do it
Yeah.
voluntarily of my own accord and waste my time?
What is the name of those people that like to dress up as like, you know,
Furries.
like that, like with teddy bears and all
Furries?
that, furries? Yeah, exactly. Like I have to admit, like I've always been like a little curious about like what those parties are like, you know? Any of you
Yeah.
ever wondered?
We can tell you. We can tell you what it's like. I don't even have to go to one to know what that's like.
No, I think you have, because you answered that right away. You're like, furries?
Oh,
You know
yeah.
about
No, it's
furries.
it's a bunch of people that are wearing basically mascot outfits that have holes around their genitalia.
They don't have
Okay,
to.
now
Yeah, I
you
don't
went
That's
to
like-
the
I
think
triple
that's
X version of
optional.
this shit.
It's very much an optional
That's
thing.
optional. Well, you know
Okay,
they have
sure.
the ones
I
with
thought-
the pony, like on their behind, they have like the tail and all of that.
Yes.
Sure.
The tail actually indicates how long they've been in the furry
Oh
space.
God.
I've heard that. I've
Only-
heard that.
Only reason I know that, I lived in Pittsburgh for 3 years, and there's a convention every year for the furries. Like
I'm
Pittsburgh's
telling
furry
you
home.
right now, furry fidgetals are going to be a thing.
Oh, they already are, I'm sure. But no,
Digital
it's
physicals?
kind of like the rings on a tree, right? You know, your tail gets longer with experience and age, and then it
Wow.
becomes like an alpha symbol. You know, just like in any wolf pack or any animal environment, you know, you're looking for the alpha, and you see that long tail, and you know, you gotta show some respect.
True.
Yeah.
It's like a badge of honor, but it's on their tail,
Yeah.
and it's a
I
furry
do
tail.
I do have a lot of respect for people that dress up, because it's hard to even get like regular dressed. So like for people to like do like a lot of makeup and a lot of like costuming and like sewing on their own, like that's fucking dedication.
That's the real fetish is sewing
Yeah.
machines.
Prodigy says, I'm a head out. Insert SpongeBob. A lot of comments I want to get back to. Sarah was commenting, Jess talk that shit. I like that. I said that, but I like that comment. But nobody.
Winebags clicks on all the links he said. It clicks on all of them.
Be careful out there. GM to Snepsid. Young Content. Shout out to Young Content.
Yeah.
OG community
homie.
member. Say less. The sensei is on it. Prodigy said, as I said earlier, I'm only here for Jess to leak when gift news are coming.
Leak.
OVOT.
Hey, they're
What a great
thirsty out
start.
there, fam. They're thirsty out there. They need the leak.
Pittsburgh is the center of the furry universe. I can confirm. NFT Go Bag Check in the best segue that's ever happened on NFT Live here. Barometer's at 42. We still got a lot of people in losses here. 372,000 wallets in losses. Shout out and RIP to all of you. ETH over the last 7 days against ETH, blue chips have risen, but ETH is rising. So you're going to see that dump a little bit. That's probably the reason for that. In USD, we're doing just fine over the last 2 days. Really nice little pump we're getting. Market cap and volume increasing. I want to talk a little bit about Blur and OpenSea later in the episode because there's some interesting like visualizations of how much Blur is taking over this volume. You see how much of dominance Blur has. Last 7 days on the collection side, Other Deeds, Mutant Apes, Bored Apes, Moonbirds, Azukis, Clonexes, Pudgies, and Beans. So Azuki making a good entrance there. Over the last 24 hours, Moonbird's almost at the top, Biggie. What's going on? Anything? Any news?
Is that
report?
good volume? Is that good volume or bad volume?
Oh, that Blur money is well spent, in my opinion. Welcome to all our new members. That's all I have to say. You seem to know something I know as well.
Okay, this is what I want to point out here. This is adjusted also for wash trading. So our handy dandy wash trade feature. The trading sizes, Blur doing 52,420, very fitting, of ETH in the last 24 volume.
50, that's like about $51 million roughly. This is a crazy thing that we were talking about that is really worth mentioning, because it gets back to what we were saying yesterday about like whether or not OpenSea will maybe have to release a token just to compete, or whether or not they'd even want to. That's a whole other discussion. But like you can see that Blur may actually be getting an edge here over OpenSea and becoming the dominant NFT marketplace now because of this successful token. Because they literally did 10x more volume in the last 24 hours than OpenSea.
Didn't we say that about LooksRare though? We were all jacked up on LooksRare.
It's a different situation. So actually, I think it's a good point, because yes, we should compare them. The difference is that LooksRare didn't have as successful of a like launch over several months where people were actually like really adopting it hardcore the way that they have with Blur. At least I think some people did get really into LooksRare around the airdrop, and so I do think that that's a valuable comparison to look at.
Don't you think that like Blur is so popular because of the royalties BS though, and that's what makes it's continuing to be successful? Like if LooksRare did that, you know, they'd be just as successful.
I think that's the key feature there, is that OpenSea is doing things differently Blur is doing things differently, some negative, some positive, than OpenSea. That's the key feature. LooksRare just tried to be OpenSea with a token, and Blur is like taking multiple stances that are different than OpenSea, some being negative like creator royalties.
You said it well. It's an actually different and unique product that targets a different need in the marketplace, whereas a lot of these other platforms, including Coinbase NFT, which will be an interesting point that we'll get into with you, Jess. Coinbase was really just trying to be like OpenSea. Like they weren't doing that, creating a marketplace that was really doing anything different. And I think X2Y2 was also doing nothing different other than having a token, and it wasn't differentiated enough.
She said you can't even see the art on Blur. Is it blurry?
No, it's just very small, and it's made for trading over like serious art collecting. Like there's always going to be other platforms needed for serious art collecting, but what you're seeing is that right now, especially in the bear market, the people that are still really active are hardcore traders. Yes, there's still some art collecting, but it's a much smaller percentage of the total volume. And when the bull market comes back and people are feeling great and wanting to get in, then I think you'll start to see more people coming in as the serious art collectors. But like, how many people do you know, Jess, that are putting in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars right now just because they love the art? Most people are just trying to survive this market and flip where they can.
This is an absolutely crazy visual. Sorry, Jess. I just wanted to show this. Like, this is the most dominance that I've seen for LooksRare in a long while. Like, I understand the token just launched, so what you're seeing is probably... I keep saying that. Yeah, Blur token just launched. Yeah. So you're seeing like this massive FOMO of people that are like, shit, I didn't make a bag. Season 2's happening. Let me go try to make a bag. So
what's on the top though? The black is other, and then the purple is X2Y2,
which is mostly, I don't know if this is weighted for wash trading. It might be because it's pretty small. But I mean, look, we've said quite a few times on this show, talked about how successful this airdrop mechanic has been, the way that they've drawn it out over months and gamified it instead of just making it like this quick one-off thing and really, strung people along or got them further into creating these habits of using their platform. They're just keeping it going because this has been a massive win. Like they figured out how to do an airdrop, I think, better than any other marketplace. And that's what you're seeing. But also, again, back to the product, even if they just had a cool airdrop mechanic, if the product wasn't also unique and interesting, I don't think you'd have such success because you wouldn't have that product market fit.
Last piece of the NFT Go Bag Check that we like to take a look at is the collections. You can see it. I don't know what Win Sandwich is. I don't want to know what Win Sandwich is. Eunts has seen a little bit of a dip in floor price. That was in one we've covered multiple times here. We didn't really see past the initial gamification what that was going to look like.
Chungo's trending, baby. Don't fade the Chungo.
I think it's trending because you keep talking about it.
I mean, look, we did go viral with your news on Coinbase through GM Web3, Jess. I'm just saying, this little community we're building, it's pretty powerful.
Now imagine if you just talked about artists a lot.
We do talk about artists a lot.
We're about to talk about an artist
more than almost any other regular space. Heck yeah.
This is a little teaser. I'm going to get to some comments here.
Wow.
And Quantum Variant was saying this is the Yuga show. Is this not the Yuga show?
Not today.
The Yuga show. All right.
Well, so okay, wait. I have a Yuga comment.
What?
So, well, whatever you licking toads or whatever is going to happen next. That's next Wednesday, right?
22nd. Whatever the 22nd is.
Yeah, I think that's the Wednesday. And I had to be mindful of the toad licking like extravaganza because gas is going to go up, I'm guessing. So I was not dropping on that day. So,
Smart.
Yeah.
Yo, it's almost like you've done this before. I'm very impressed with you, Jess. You're killing it. I think what's really cool about this whole story and the way that it's coming together is that you've been in the space now as long as most of us, as like an OG, experimenting and trying to, find your voice as a Web3 artist, and do all these different awesome projects. And I really feel like you're putting it all together now, and that you're getting more attention and respect. And I really feel like all of that work that you've been doing over the last couple of years in the space is starting to come together for you. And that's what's really cool. And even again, like the fact that you're like, hey, I've seen this before. You're seeing patterns, how you're releasing things. You're really smart about it, knowing to avoid the gas wars around a big Yuga drop. Like, it's cool. It's cool to see.
Well, some people fight it, right? They're like, I don't care. I'm just going to do my thing. I'm like, okay, well, bury your head in the sand and then have a fucked up drop. So I'm trying to avoid those things. I know they're not always avoidable. But and that actually kind of dovetails into, I know we were talking about the drop with OpenSea that I have coming up next Tuesday. They were really helpful and integral in me like choosing that date because I had a few dates in mind. But on their end of things, they're able to see what's coming out and what's dropping on their platform that's not even listed on the drop pages yet. And so they were like, well, this community is dropping this and they have a really big community. So it's your choice. You can drop on the same day, but it might take away the shine of your project. So that's actually really helpful information, or alpha, as we say, because I want to know those things. I don't want to just be like, fuck the system. I'm just going to drop on any day. Granted, there are some projects that you're just going to drop whenever you want to drop, or like redeems that are going to be available on the same days as other projects. Like inevitably, you can't avoid that. But for this, considering its history and what happened and how it came from Coinbase to OpenSea, I wanted to make sure that we could at least give it as much care as possible and give it the opportunity to succeed, right? And ample time to promote it, which I say ample time, but it's actually not that much time because we set it up for February because it was originally going to come out on the 10th and now it's the 21st, but I haven't really started openly talking about it until like 2 weeks before it's dropping. So, yeah.
And as far as setting it up to succeed, like it's an interesting challenge. Like everything you do, it's different, it's unique, but this is probably one of the first drops on the C drops OpenSea Launchpad protocol that is as much about, that's more about fine art, not one of one, but closer to that one of one mode than a lot of the stuff that they're doing, because it's mostly all big collectibles, multiple thousands that are dropping on those pages. And you're coming at this as a more of a one of one artist. And again, I don't know that they probably have a lot of history of doing drops like yours on this protocol yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I looked back and I researched a lot of the artists, and a lot of the projects were these really large projects, which actually is kind of, it makes me feel better because if I decided down the line to do a larger collection, it looks like those are received well too, depending on your community. But like OpenSea, like let's be real, has a massive freaking outreach, and they probably have like a killer mailing list. I know GIF loves those mailing lists. Like OpenSea probably has a massive one. And then I also like, so just to kind of back up for a second, once I put that statement out about Coinbase on Twitter, I got hit up by about 5 different platforms to take this drop. So what I did in terms of DYORing is I opened up each of their Twitter pages and just straight up looked at how many followers they have and how much they engage and how much they engage with other artists, like, retweet, and all of that stuff. And to me, OpenSea by far was like, they have almost 2 million followers. They have high engagement. So to me, like, that was a really, you know, good place to go, you know. And the other platforms, which I won't mention, they were trailing by a significantly less amount. I mean, nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? Like, there's, I mean, something to sneeze at. Definitely, they have like hundreds of thousands of followers. But you know, I'm just saying, like, I also started on OpenSea, like most of us. So,
but this is, you know, but this is cool. Like the research, I'd love if we can actually pull up the article. So we like, let's take a step back, because you know we're kind of diving.
Can we take an even further step back real quick, Diff? Can you hit him with the disclaimer really quick? And also, we have the poll that's live. Who Knocks Darkness has a crush on, and Biggie Poppins currently, I believe, it's tied with Jessica right now. So whoever we think Knox has a crush on, please get that in. Otherwise, please leave a like here on today's episode. It helps support us. Like, full stop. It helps support us. We definitely want to be bringing you guys all the latest information in Web3. Sub. We're here every day, so please subscribe if you're not. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, live every day on YouTube. So thank you guys, and shout out to those listening afterwards as well.
Yeah. All right. I'm not muted. Let's go. This is not financial advice, and the information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely that of the Web3 team. All information is public domain, so please DYOR or do your own research. We're not responsible for your bags, fam. But if you smash the like, we might give you some really cool info on some interesting things, like this Jessica Yatrofsky drop. All right, to take a big step back, though, because we kind of dove into it a little bit. We're all more familiar with this crazy story, especially because, you know, a lot of it kind of originated, at least the more recent parts of it, on the GM Web3 show, where you dropped some of these big, you know, news updates, these big sort of, bits of alpha or whatever you want to call it. You came in, you dropped some updates there that got quite a lot of traction. But yeah, if we can pull up this article, and Jess, maybe you can kind of give us a brief sort of background of like what was going on with Coinbase and then how it got to this point. Yeah,
I feel like I always bring you little dog treats in the morning, like into the gym. And
well, we are furries. We are furries, so yeah, we do like our Scooby snacks in the morning.
So me, along with many other people in the community, started off as partners with Coinbase NFT way back. Like, it was fall of 2021. Yeah, it's because it's been over a year and a half now, or it's been about a year and a half now. And it was in beta, respectfully. And so I was holding back my project, waiting my turn, essentially, just to kind of summarize this really quickly so people don't get bored by the story. But then I had my very first drop with them in November. And that was really cool. But it was a very, very small fine art collection of 55 pieces, 55 photographs, one-of-ones. And then I did it that way because we had to break it up into 3 drops, because I was, with that collection, I was going to showcase 3 different medias and 3 different mediums. And there was a problem with showcasing those all on the same drop at the same time on the same page. And I won't get into the details of that, but you can all imagine they just weren't able to pull it off. But what I was invited to do was to break it up into 3 drops. So I was like, oh, okay, I didn't want to do that, but I will do that. And, you know, that's kind of cool. I can kind of spread it out. So when I went to schedule my second drop, that's kind of when I discovered that they were pausing, and which obviously really upset me, because I had been holding out. And as you pointed out, GIF, like opportunity costs of holding on to a project for a year and a half. You could go with other platforms, you can forge relationships and, you know, with other people and
Yeah, they strung you on. They strung you and a lot of the other artist partners along for the better part of a year.
But to be fair, I mean, like, I'm pretty loyal, so I was putting a lot of my eggs in the Coinbase basket, and some of my partnership friends were experimenting on other platforms. So it's not like it was preventing me from going to other platforms, but I would say, like, I was holding out the hope for that Coinbase was going to be the OpenSea killer, as they were calling it. So I really believed in that. And I was like, I can chill. I can put this project on the back burner. I can wait. I can wait. And then when it was finally my time to go, and then having it broken up into 3 pieces, and then I couldn't even do the second piece because they were pausing right at a pretty crucial time for me. I just let that statement out. And that's kind of what, you know, put it out there that I guess I was a free agent, so to speak, with my next project. And some other people kind of really acted on that information in the DMs. And OpenSea was the first person actually to reach out to me. And, you know, I know that there's a lot of talk around OpenSea and how people feel about OpenSea, but I'm going to tell you that the experience I've had thus far working with them and being a partner, they've been incredibly respectful. They've been really interested in what my values are as an artist and how I want to put the work out, how I want to do engagement, how I want to bring this work to the world. So I've been very happy, and they've been like really organized. Like that's the craziest thing to me, is that I'm so used to disorganized situations in this space, that to have that level of sophistication and people that have their shit together has made me a lot. I just feel like very much taken care of and yeah, supported. So, you know, yeah, that is the Coinbase.
That's the tweet that you dropped. That's the infamous tweet that she dropped on the
Yeah.
GM Web3 morning show. That, you know, we didn't have to do much other than put a little bit of gas on it. You did all the hard work here, and this thing went pretty viral.
You know, with
this basically forced, like, literally within an hour or two. I think it was pretty quick, Jess. After this went up and everybody started tweeting it, Coinbase was basically forced to make their first public statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, to be fair to everybody involved, they contacted me immediately and wanted to speak with me, and I did have that conversation with them. Also, through this process, I had to get a lawyer, which is great. It's always good to talk to a lawyer, just to know what I could and couldn't say. And also, I want everyone to win. I want every platform to win. So I wasn't giving up any partnerships with Coinbase, coming out and saying what I said. And then a lot of press people were hitting me up, but I don't know what the hell they were looking for in terms of story, because I talked to a few people and okay, I'm just going to put this out there, like, without throwing shade. This is like non-shade, but I talked to a reporter who reports on Web3 that doesn't know anything going on in the fucking space. Yeah. And I was like,
standard.
So, well, I was like, I can't give you a fucking lesson on Web3 and all the players if you don't know any of the players.
Jess, did you see the CNN Vice hit piece? Did you see that?
I pulled it up on my computer to watch it later, but I haven't seen it. But it's unbelievable but the person at CoinDesk is very well versed in the space. She's great. I had a follow-up discussion with her and supposed to touch base with her again. But none of this is meant to take down a platform. It's meant to just make people aware of what is happening and in a timely manner. Because as you saw, when we broke that story on GM Web3, there were 2 other artists that are friends of mine that had drops coming out that are huge names in the space. And they had no idea. One had one coming out in February and one in March. And I was like, see? So it does, you know, pay to be communicative to your partners or to send out an email. And I know that there's a lot of restructuring going on with tons of platforms all of the time, but I just like had to say my piece. But I did have a very good follow-up call with them and made good. And I'm still involved with Coinbase when they get back together and get things back online. And like I said, I'm rooting for them because I do like Coinbase. And I do like, my wallet's with Coinbase. Like I'd like things to stay with Coinbase and be under one umbrella, but it didn't work, and certainly not for this project. And then to go over and have an opposite experience with OpenSea, I think like has made me really optimistic, that it's not all bad. All these platforms are not all the same.
So first of all, thanks for sharing all that. And I know it's been quite a story for you. And also parts of it have not been very fun. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Again, getting lawyers involved and shit. I know that that's not fun. So thanks for sharing that. But I want to get into the art a little bit. So can we pull up the page for the drop again? And actually just like tell us about the actual project. Cause like it's great to know about like the drama with the marketplaces, but really
it's about the art.
It's about the art, right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're pulling up. Yeah. So this project came out of my desire to make collages. And this goes way, way back to when I published my second publication, I Heart Girl, with Random House. This is some more goss too, I guess. When they did the first run of the book, they ran the wrong version. Like they sent it overseas to the printer and they ran the wrong version of the book. So I got a big delivery of like 150 books as part of my advance. And I opened them up and I opened it up to the first page and it was the wrong photo. And they had also put the book end, like the end pages were swapped. And I was livid. I was so upset. And I said, these haven't gone out anywhere, have they? And they said, no. But my gut was like, you're lying. These have definitely gone out. But I had to fight. I'm always fighting. It sucks. But just to get things correct, they reran the book. So I'm pretty sure that there's more of these I Heart Girl books in circulation than is on like the stock like list, because they had to run this book twice. And you think they destroyed those books like they said they did? No, they didn't, because every time a friend of mine saw my book in another country, said, can you open up to the first page and take a picture? Old version of the book. So this old version exists. So what I did was I had 150 of these books. I packed them up. I put them down in the cellar. And I never did anything with them. But there's this thought as an artist, when you have something like this, like, do I throw it out or do I save it? Do these become rare, right? Because they're like an alternate version of this like popular book that already exists with pictures that have never before been seen. So
you could burn them and put them on the Bitcoin blockchain, Jess. Come on.
So I just like took them and I was like, part of them actually, like the universe took care of it because there was a flood. And a lot of them got damaged, but then I had like a handful of these boxes of books. So I started taking them out. I started taking like X-Acto knives to them and, pairing up different features and different pages together and making these collages. And I really wanted to make these physical collages. And then I kind of tabled that for a minute because the pandemic happened. I got into NFTs. I was working on other projects. And then I was like, oh, dude, like there's generators. Like I can make digital version of this and, take sort of the foundation of what I was doing with the physical collages and do them a lot quicker, make a lot more, and put them out as, as NFTs. And I think it also gave it a lot more like latitude and also gravity, because I was able to experiment and like add even more features. Like in some of the collages, it's from video stills. So I incorporated video stills from some black and white films that I'd shot of the subjects and some color films I had shot of the subjects. So I'll tell you guys this, nobody knows this yet, but 55 of the images in the collection are just black and white. So I haven't showcased or teased those yet. So those are like, more, I guess, rare.
I love conceptually playing on the idea of a PFP with fine art, like collage, right? Like that's cool. Like, because these actually, you could rock these as PFPs, absolutely, but they are not at all like most PFPs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm curious how people will receive it. I mean, I did write a pretty, academic type of artist statement about the work, but I think that they're just interesting to look at. I mean, those things where like you open up a magazine and like someone's face is next to someone else's body and it just like looks odd or looks funny. I think this is like making it in a more elevated way. Like, it's kind of funny because I was just thinking about, when you walk through the subway, like people will peel back. I don't know if you've ever seen this. They'll peel back an ad and then the previous ad is behind it. And it just like makes like this amazing image that like, it's like you couldn't have thought this up on your own, it's like it presents itself. So I think when you're using a generator and making like generative art and you're putting all these traits in of all of these different faces, all these different subjects, and what it spits out is like kind of miraculous. It's like, I don't even feel like I could have done this collaging with my hands, So it's like, it's taking my work up a notch and also the volume of it too. Cause that 555, it probably would have taken me forever to make those. And I probably would have needed an assistant to help me cutting things out and all of that. So I'm super excited that I was able to, that this project was able to come out of sort of the technology that's being built in the space as a result.
Yeah.
Love it. We have a bunch of different links that we're showing off. You have a bunch of different work in the space as well. And I've got the thread pulled up here.
The room 707 key is definitely worth mentioning here, right? Because collectors of
I would love to know a little more about that because I have the gold and the pink one. And it's like I'm lost in the cruise ship, Jess. I can't find the room.
No, I'm glad you're asking. Well, first of all, do you have a link to the Discord? Because you should have a link to the Discord and you don't have to check it daily. It's like maybe just check in once a month and see what's up. So a few things about the 707 key. That will always gain you access if there's an allow list option on any of my projects. And also some things that I'm aligned with, like other lists that I get list spots for. 707 will be able to mint first. So for this project, for example, I can tell you, and if you want to post at some point, the allow list that I have, it's like it's down there on my Twitter page. Pretty close. But I'm over allocated on that with people who have signed up. But if you're a 707 holder, you get to mint in the first minting phase. So so that's going to happen on Tuesday. We'll be on the show. So 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is 707 holders. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is allow list folks. And then the public goes at noon. So you have an advantage as a key holder if you are interested in my work. And then also I'm rolling something out, which I think I can announce a few names. But I'd like to do that maybe at another time. I'm going to announce 7 artists as part of the 707 like perks or redeemables. So the first project that I let out through 707 was just an outtake of I Heart Girl that doesn't exist in this book, but it exists in the old version. So if you have a 707 key, you can go and mint that. And then there's 6 or 7 other artists that are really big in the space that we know that have done a custom piece of art for 707. And how that works is that if you're a key holder, I tell you, hey, this month it's going to be like Gabe Weiss, which is maybe the first artist. And you go in there with your key, you redeem the piece, and because with 707, I onboarded so many artists and so many friends that are not Web3 people. I wanted them to be able to collect cool art. So with the key, now I can like curate and find some of my friends and cool artists in the space and ask them, hey, can you make a piece? And then 707 people, hopefully by the end of the year or the end of 2 years, will have like a nice, cool little collection of art that I deem cool and interesting and important work in the space. So, and then I have it so it's like the wallet, the royalties is set so that the artists that do the piece in 707, they get the profits from it.
Rev share. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I cut it off after a certain like window of time. So hopefully like if people are paying attention to that and have the key, it's cool because they'll have like 7 pieces or 15 pieces or whatever.
That's really cool. You're creating your own mini grails. You know, it's like these sort of like curator pass things, I think, are a really interesting thing. And you're seeing more of this. Like I know on like Tezos, there's a couple of those popping up. You know, Biggie is obviously in the grails, and we talked a lot about that with the Moonbirds and Proof Collective doing their own sort of curation drop. And it's cool that you're kind of doing that your own. So not only are you out there as an artist dropping your own work, but you're actually using the blockchain to set yourself up as a curator in the space and provide value that way. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah. It'd be cool really for people to walk away with just a handful of art, especially like my friends, like I said, that are not in Web3. I just walk them through them and I remind them, hey, there's a redeemable this month. Go check it out. And, you know, they mostly like the artists that I turn them on to. So being able to now invite those artists to collaborate with 707. And it's less of a collaboration in terms of like an invitation. You know, I'm saying, hey, would you like to create a custom piece that our community can mint? You know, and then it's cool because it's like a custom thing. There's not that many holders. I think I took like a screenshot last night, but I'll be taking another one. I think I'm probably by
I'm missing in there.
Don't worry, because you still have time to mint this one piece before we move on to the other artists. So just hit me up and I'll send you a link to that. But yeah, so, you know, I'll take a screenshot and I'm trying to like encourage people to like, hey, if you want this thing, like move, if you have, because people bought 2, 3, 5 keys. I'm like, move them to different wallets before I take the screenshot if you want to get this artist. So I'm also trying to help people out. But I think just because 707 is so small, that you really have to like, and then the algo is fucked, that you have to kind of like stay up to date on, you know, you have to go to that page, you know, that Twitter page or my Twitter page, which is why I'm like, I really want people's emails so I can just blast an email once a month and just say, hey, pick up this piece if you want. You know, you don't have to, but just to be able to notify people has been this like freaking annoying thing in the space. And then they're like, I missed it. And it's like, well, of course, because, you know, and it's not their fault. Like I miss things all the time and I don't get mad because I'm just like, we're just doomed if we don't give out our email or if they don't have our Twitter handle and they can't hit us up. So I would like better solutions for that. And I'm trying my best, but I'm one person. And I think there's about 200 and something unique holders of the keys. So, I mean, that's a significant amount, but I think there's under 200. So it's hard because a lot of people minted this on DIDNT wallets, right? When it first came out. So I have no clue who those people are.
Jess, as you continue to build out these collections, do you like internalize a ranking of like which ones you enjoyed most or which ones you hold in highest regard? Like, do you have a ranking of like the collections that you've created, or do you just like kind of egalitarian, everybody's kind of the same when it comes to these collections?
You mean artists that I'm asking to collab?
No, your collections specifically, like things you've created. Do you have a ranking specifically for like which ones are closest to your heart? Because I'm an iHeart Girl collector, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, the funny thing is, and this is not a shill, the stuff that is, I think, the ranks pretty highest in my book is the stuff that I made to put out in Web3 as NFTs that are not sold out. That like I had a gallery show where this work was like connected to the physicals were connected to the NFTs. And like that shit got no love, like no attention. I even had like influencers and people come to the fucking show and they like didn't even like connect the two. And I was like, okay, you know, and I sent out like packets to folks that were like potentially interested in like, you know, price sheets and, you know, a very like academic background on, you know, the trajectory of like that particular body of work, which goes back to when I was like 13 or 14, that particular show I'm talking about, Abuse Bouquet. So I had some NFTs connected to that. That's actually in my pinned tweet. It's called like circa 1997, I think, is that body of work. And then the fucking Gary V erasure poems. Like, I'm so proud of those. Like,
this is a nice segue into the Burn Island, actually, because you're actually maybe coming up on some utility here out of this.
So that was cool. And then, of course, like, I love Pink Privacy. I love those poems. I have some other poems that are going to become basically like, look at all my Nifty Kit collections. Like, I hold all those in high regard, and they're all my favorite. But obviously, I Heart Girl was like I was about to say the crudité, but I meant like the creme de la creme of like everything, because that's that's a body of work that has, you know, been in the ether for a while and was widely publicized, and it was a pretty popular book. So I'm really proud of that. Hence why I waited so long to let it out.
And I'm happy to own one too. Me and Nifty Q both do. And that's that was only 55, and now you're scaling up just a little bit to 555. It's still a very small collection, again, for something like this on OpenSea. And I think it will do well, but you know, it's an experiment, and I think it'll be very exciting to watch what happens. But I'm so stoked. I hope so. To get this opportunity. It's
going to unfold on your show live.
I think it's going to stand out, honestly. I think given that most of the stuff that's been on the Launchpad so far has been the sort of PFP, larger generative collections, I feel like this should stand out and feel different to the people that are visiting the OpenSea homepage and see it there. And I hope that people, you know.
We have, so OpenSea is going to come on Tuesday on the mint day and talk about sea drops a bit and talk about the project. So while that's minting, so like hopefully it does well while we're all in the minting. I'll be amongst friends.
So the new protocol, because we've been very curious, we've been talking a lot about this, right? So OpenSea has rolled out this new launchpad, and it's called Sea Drops. That's the name of the protocol. And, you know, they're going to come on the show. Jess is helping that, facilitating a conversation with them, coming back on to share more about it. And obviously, we'll be touching more about your project. It's XX Gen, right? That's the name, XX Gen. So we'll be talking about the XX Gen drop and about like just learning more about this new OpenSea launchpad. That it seems like it's been a big win for them as a new feature and a new product within the OpenSea ecosystem and their platform. Like most of their projects that they're dropping, which is almost every day, they seem to be mostly selling out. And again, one of the interesting things that it does sound like is confirmed is that I think I was right. I think I was right.
With what?
No. Pixelmon? No. Well, I think Biggie was like giving me a hard time. Like I was just trying to find something wrong with them or something. But it does sound like that these drops that they're doing are looped into their protocol, and that you are definitely, you're within the OpenSea ecosystem then, and not as decentralized as you would be. It's not to say that's necessarily good or bad. Obviously, it's a different thing from having your own smart contract. Yeah, but that was one of my big question marks or concerns, and it does sound like that is true.
And obviously, like, you know, Jeff and Joe, I've had to deal with ribbing from them a lot with this. But
what's the detail here? Like, what's the actual process?
Well, I don't want to go into all of the detail about it, other than, you know, it's not like I'm obviously a Nifty Kit. I work for Nifty Kit, and all of my projects are on smart contracts. Prior to, you know, knowing about smart contracts, the stuff that I have on OpenSea or Foundation is just on their contracts, right? I'm not sure exactly. So OpenSea has their own smart contract, and I can't read code, so leave me alone. They came at me with the best offer the first. So I went with them, and then after going through the process, have really enjoyed the process working with them and being a partner with them. That doesn't mean to say that every other project I drop will not be on a smart contract powered by Nifty Kit. So I just want to let people know moving forward. And also, one last thing is, please sign up for the allow list period, because if I can grab your email or your, you know, @ handle, then I can let you know for the next project I'm dropping, which is going to be like, I can't say anything about it, but it's going to be pretty big. So, you know, if I can capture that and people are interested, because I'm getting hit up in DMs like, how can I get on the allow list? And it's like, so over allocated. And
where is the allow list? Do we have that link? Is it pinned? Can you share that? Because we can put it in the chat.
If you scroll down, I know Nifty Q, you were on the page. If you scroll down just a little bit more, it's there. It says like sign up here, and it has like the same picture on it.
But also pick up, so you can did you do a snapshot, or can you still go get a room 707 key in that? Is that the best way?
I'm gonna close it on Sunday. I decided
Sunday. All right, before Sunday, if you get a room 707 key, that can be your golden ticket to actually getting one of these 555. So
could you talk a little bit about the difference between the pink and the gold key? Because you have two different ones. That'd be good to know the difference.
So first of all, thank God for Nifty Kit, because they helped me break it up into like the pink and the gold when I had a situation going on there, because I got like these DIDNTs just ripped the pink keys and threw them on the floor and got nuts. So we closed the mint and then opened the rest of the 707 keys in the color gold. So if you are a pink holder or gold holder, doesn't matter. You still get the same treatment. You still get access to all the same mints. The only thing is like you're just part of a different like club, right? Like it's same club, different color card, if that makes sense. The only thing that differentiates the two keys is that if you are a pink key holder, you had a chance last year to submit and sign up and get my first book, Pink Privacy. And then this year, there's going to be a form that goes out for gold key holders, and you'll be able to sign up that form and get my new book, Golden Throne. That's the only difference. That's just like a little, incentive, a little, treat for my collectors. And the last thing I was going to say about that too is that for everyone who has collected iHeartGirl and who is about to collect XX Gen, is that it's already ready. It's already done. I just have to hit the button. There's a collector's shop. So you'll be able to get prints of your iHeartGirl, of your XX Gen, and also to pick up a copy of iHeartGirl, the book, signed by me and with some little goodies and stuff in there. So, and that's only collectors have access to that. So
nice. I also dropped all the links in chat for everybody that wants to follow along and kind of follow up with the NFT collections.
Heck yeah. And I think we want to make sure we get the allow list link. So I don't know if that's the one or not, but you're also doing a live reading and a book signing in Denver. As part of Web3 Denver, we get the exclusive Golden Throne show. And your live poetry reading is
the book tour.
Yeah, kicking off the tour for the new book in Denver. And your live readings are awesome. They're a good time. And hosting you at the Marijuana Mansion for that especially will be a good time.
You have to MC it though. You got to.
We already have a room picked out for you. There's this really, really bougie, comfortable like lounge. No, it's this beautiful lounge, very bohemian vibe.
I was the Hello Kitty sex room. Okay, so like already I'm.
That's already booked. We got
that is booked. The furries and the chungos are gonna be in there all night, unfortunately. But I'll MC it as long as I'm available during that time. I'll try and be there. And I got to introduce her when she came and did room 707 live in LA. That was fun. Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to read. And he's like, no, I'm going to introduce you. And I was like, I'm scared.
Jess, if you can drop that allow list link there in the private chat, I can get it into our YouTube chat as well as if you guys are listening on Twitter, if you're listening afterwards, definitely head into the YouTube chat to try to find these links. We'll also put it in the description. What's up, Biggie?
It's the Bueno form, right, Jess?
Yeah.
I put it in there in private chat. No worries.
Got it. All right, there we go. Jess, any last information? I feel like we did a really good deep dive there. Got the arcage out early, and then we had the details, and we went deep. So
everybody made things right. So I feel like all is good and well in the castle, so to speak. And just super excited for this project. Like on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about this in OpenSea. For a bit on the show, so people should tune in. They should tune in every morning, but
you said Tuesday.
Tuesday at
Tuesday.
11:30 Eastern Standard, which is 8:30, right? 8:30? Yeah, 8:30. So come
8 a.m.
Yeah, but they'll come in. Okay, 30 minutes.
They'll
after.
come in like 30 minutes. Yeah, once all of the cowards from the other alpha rooms kind of shuffle in 30 minutes later.
Although they're getting the same audio now. Gift sounded like Ryan Carson on today's episode. Biggie, you should check out the recording, man. He's got like the deep Ryan Carson. Like
I
we're
do not
listening
sound
to
like
ASMR podcast.
I sound
You're like,
low
I
blow.
don't sound like a rugger, do I?
Yeah, I sound like myself. You know,
It's probably what Ryan
That
thinks.
sounds good. I need to get like some hookup on my phone.
Haters.
I'm always sounding terrible. I mean, it doesn't matter when I'm in the shower. Like I could sound like whatever, but when I'm out, I want to sound.
I was trying to get this new audio setup working with the camera, but I think that's why I was getting pixelated. So I'm gonna play with this for a minute while y'all talk and see if I can get my audio different.
Yeah. We're going to move into the quick news portion of the episode as well. We're sitting at about an hour and 15 on the episode. Jess, if you got to run,
I'm gonna
and you
go.
don't wanna
Yeah, I
talk
have
DJ,
another thing, but
Okay.
yeah, if you guys are still here when I'm done with my other
Probably will
meeting, I want to come back. Yeah.
Do it.
Back in anytime. It's really easy.
Yeah.
You got the link, Jess. You got the link. You know where to
Thank
find us.
you. Yes,
That
I
link
love
is
clicking
forever,
on
Jess.
links. I love clicking on.
That is a forever link for you, Jess.
So I
If you
can
ever
just I can come in and spaghetti. You
just
know?
bomb us
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah,
Cool.
actually. Yeah.
I already got the plant to spaghetti you guys. Cool.
Awesome.
If you guys don't understand the reference, just go look up Tim and Eric and you'll find spaghetti and you'll forever be changed. So I'm going to sign off with that piece of alfalfa and yeah, have a good news segment. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jess.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All
Jay
right.
Yacht, Jessica
Listen.
Yatrofsky, ladies and DJs.
Yep. Doubling up. That's her second time on NFT Live, not her last. That's what I know. All right. Little Peckers didn't sell out. I don't mean to start the quick news off poorly, but Little Peckers.
How much does that hurt? Kid?
It hurts.
It's only
it hurts.
1,000.
50% got minted. This is like
at 0.055, bro. Can we run the tape back on how certain Q was that this was alpha?
I think I bet
Q
my
was
life. I think I
Q was like, have you? Q was like,
life.
have you seen this art? Q was like, have you seen how good this art is? Are you kidding me? Yo, I'm gonna be saving. You're like, I'm gonna be saving my ETH up for these little peckers.
Squashman's like Jay Yacht, better than Little Peckers, greater than.
Hey, you know what though? It does highlight the fact that good art is not enough in this space.
Facts. These look awesome. I'm going right now. This is gonna be my second Hasbulla. This is gonna be the follow-up Hasbulla where I talk about him, but I never own him. All right, we have VeeFriends Burn Island. I don't want to talk about this. I'm not a Gary V simp. I'm not going to talk about.
Fuck. What's he doing now? He's gonna buy a private island for his holders to sell them more shit.
I don't know. Well, we'll wait for our simp to get back here to talk about Gary V. I will bring up the Yuga Labs show, which is that sewer pass holders.
How old is that mongrel fucker? Like 21 years old or some shit?
Yes, and I think there was I need to check the bid on the number one. So sewer passes revealed. The number one pass went to Mongrel, who got a score of like 947,000. If you want to check it out, this is his run. Absolutely ridiculous run, by the way. Like near the end of this, I don't know how his reaction times actually can get him through this. Let me make sure. Are we getting audio from GIF? You're coming through all weird, man. Hello?
Hello.
I'm about to get him. Does he even know? Is he still live? GIF, are you there?
Yeah. He's checking on his chungos.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Mongrel 9,600,000, something like that. 960,000. We got these sewer passes revealing. I got like a 1,200 on my top score on my tier 4. I need to check the floor prices that are coming out.
Check 1 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
You're good, but there's some like feedback that's coming through. It sounds okay now. You sound like a little bit like Ryan Carson.
Yeah.
Did we do the mid-episode audio switch? Did we switch audio midway through the episode? Were you in your AirPods?
Well, I'm testing out this new.
Let's wait to do that for your post episode next time. All right, here's the details. All sewer pass holders can now refresh the metadata on their passes to see final scores. You will be able to use your pass to summon your power source on March 8th. Here's probably the biggest piece of news is that we get to go back to the sewers. All sewer pass holders can re-enter the sewer on February 22nd for opportunity to earn a companion trait for their power sources during a bonus round. Something we're calling Toad Mode. This will be a separate leaderboard. More details to come. So apparently on the 22nd, sewer pass holders can get back in. I'm getting some. I don't know if you have a setting on your microphone GIF that's picking up like the background noise, but see if you can turn that off. All right, some sewer passes were faked. So like you had people that were trying to cheat. Those turned into NAs, so not applicable. I'll try to find a piece there. GIF, just message me when you have that audio stuff figured out. Yeah.
Boot the man.
Yeah, even if your score is currently set to 0, you can still play Toad Mode for a chance to get a score ahead of this summoning. All right, so again, we have some sewer pass holders here in chat. It went well for all intents and purposes. There weren't too many complaints. Some people were complaining about pro gamers getting the top scores. That's going to happen. Prodigy saying he needs to turn his threshold up so it's not so sensitive. That is what picks up his keyboard. Quantum Variant saying this is good live TV. Jacob Gooden saying GIF's just excited to play with his new toys. I'm going to try to bring him back. Let's see if we got him. Hello?
Check. Hello.
Oh, shit.
Looks good. Sounds good. No feedback. Give me one more time.
Hello. Hello. Check 1 2.
Yes, but there's like a buzzing almost that's happening in the background.
Yeah, all right. I'll switch back. We'll play with it more later. We'll give it a shot. We're working it out, folks. This is live production.
All right. Quantum Variance in chat. He is normally up to date on the Yuga stuff. We definitely have been following. I'll jump back in. There's a mention again of a companion to your power source. So there's going to be even another asset that's being dropped onto that ecosystem. Other than that, the other deeds are pumping. They're sitting at about 2 ETH. They pumped like over the last 48 hours. So no announcement. Everyone's thinking we're going to lick the toad here in March.
Yeah.
In that timeline.
And ON1 Force, dude, I also shared a tweet on ON1 Force. I don't know if you want to pull that one up. But I have flipped a couple Onis in the last 48 hours, and I'm still holding some rare ones. But Onis have pumped, and I think it's all speculation. I don't think they've actually made a big announcement just yet, but there is incoming news around an acquisition, and I think they started to tease more things. But yeah. So again, any OG Oni holders in the fam that have been longtime believers in this project are getting rewarded potentially. I actually bought back in around like 0.6, 0.7 to a few more. So seems like a good play at this point.
All right, I've got the price chart here. You can see that like probably the most volume they've had in the last 3 months. Let's even zoom out to a year. Yeah, most volume they've had in more than a year. As you can see here.
Yeah, people have been holding for a while. We've been holding for a while. Yeah. It's exciting. It's really cool when OG projects that people love start to come back to life. And that's, again, one of the interesting things about the space is that IP can be reinvigorated. It can be brought back from the dead, quote unquote.
I'm trying to look for an actual... Okay, so there was a tweet here. It says destruction often precedes rebirth. So that was the one you were mentioning there. ON1 Force exclusive mint. Oh, so there's assets related to this as well. So people are buying in so that they get some type of airdrop claim?
I don't know.
ON1 Force exclusive mint. Looks like that's what's happening. Biggie,
shit.
do you own any ON1 Force?
No, I do not. But I'm familiar with it. Yeah, and I saw it pump. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I did
Quantum
not
variance
know there was a claim.
Ryan Carson's in the house. You did sound crispy. We got to figure out that a little bit of that background, but it did come through pretty crispy. I'm excited to test out those features on this show. Snaps said sounds fine to me, and Squashman coming through saying yes, new team, new buyer, just hasn't been disclosed. Link dropped in their Discord last night that led to website update. That's part of the pump. I actually flipped my Onis and bought new ones for tax harvesting. Great for OG holders, giving OG value.
Right on. So they're pulling like a Pudgy's Penguins kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and it looks like we got duped. I hate this. I hate this space. When
The fake link, right? Because I couldn't see it. Yeah, that's not the real. Look at that Twitter.
Yeah.
Only 4 years.
Foish.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I'm at their Twitter and there's no mint link. So be y'all. More reminders to be freaking careful. There's always scammers looking to take advantage of everything.
Love a good live moment. We've had some good live moments in the last like 10 minutes. So we just got off some audio issues and we went directly into shilling you a scam link. So yeah, we're just getting after it today on this episode. Shout out to all the Oni holders. I know Ronan was a big Oni holder back in the day. Crypto Buffalo. We all kind of aped in on Onis there. When did they run up to like 9 ETH? Was that the story?
So when they first minted, like literally there is never, so previous to Oni, there was never a project that had the run up that it had. And since then, maybe the only one that was comparably like out of this world insane was Art Gobblers. I think Moonbirds also had a big spike. I don't remember like how crazy that one went right after mint, but within like the first couple days of the mint of ON1 Force, it went up to like an 8 ETH floor. And that had never happened before. Like it, like literally when it took off like a rocket, it was unprecedented.
Mechaverse did something like that.
This is the one that Logan Paul. This is the one Logan Paul has like one of the rarest ones, right? And paid like through the nose. Yeah,
650K, I believe, was the number that he paid for one of the commies. I think they're called commies, the super rare Onis. And yeah. And so, yeah, when that shit pumped, like it was just getting tremendous volume and attention because nothing else had ever taken off quite like that rocket ship did. That was actually one of the things that led to me quitting my job because I was able to flip quite a few Onis and some Brian Lee pieces within the weekend around that drop. And it was the biggest weekend I've ever made flipping. And I said, why do I need a fucking day job? Like on this shit, and then a couple months later, I transitioned out of my job full time. But literally around the ON1 Force drop, I did really well, and that was part of what led me to being able to go full time Web3.
The love for Japanese anime / like manga in this space is high.
One thing that's
like
that's
I didn't even think there was a meta associated.
So one thing that's interesting that's kind of, this is sort of like spilling tea that I know the Oni team doesn't really talk about this publicly much, but I know it's true. Is that the Azukis basically ripped off their project in a lot of different ways, even to literally taking a lot of their team members. So Azukis literally copied the Oni playbook in many different ways, and then even to the point of like basically poaching most of their team to come in and work on their project. So this was the first one that really kicked off a lot of that sort of, Japanese anime style and spawned a bunch of derivatives like super successful projects do. But Azuki directly copied their playbook in many, many ways. And not a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people probably don't even know how much they did. But I've had some like combos with their team where they have shared some things that are kind of private. So yeah, that's the one that Logan Paul.
August 23, 2021. Dude, honestly, you hold that long enough, it's probably going to be worth way more than that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I understand he had to hold through a cycle, but 600K for the best Oni Force, if you want to, throw up the quotes, there, not a bad call.
Yeah. No, that's a badass fucking NFT, dude. It really is. Yeah, I'll always love Onis.
I'd love to do a rate my bag segment on like the pumps. I wouldn't call them dumps, but like the major FOMO events in NFTs. Like I remember Meckaverse had that happen as well. Meckaverse like pre-reveal ran up to like I think around 9 ETH. I don't know why that was the number for both of these projects, but Meckaverse pre-reveal and then it dumped considerably post-reveal.
Yeah, Oni actually held, like, Oni had a bit of a dump, but it actually held value for a while. It wasn't until the team really kind of started to fall apart and not execute that shit really started to kind of go downhill. But for a while, it held quite a bit of value. We gave away several Oni forces. I gave away, this isn't a joke, at like Nifty Castle, myself personally, but Nifty Castle, we were doing so many giveaways. And when Oni took off, we gave away an Oni that at the time was worth, it was somewhere between I think it was literally worth $16,000. Like one NFT. Yeah. We've given away thousands of NFTs at this point. We literally gave away an NFT. And I think it was somebody in India. It was literally, I think we may have, somewhat measurably impacted somebody's life, like actually changed somebody's life in India who won it for like a single asset between $16,000 to $20,000, something like that at the time.
Yo, this one is clean. It's almost like the Bumblebee, but like the white and black version. That's fucking clean.
So Brian Lee, who's the artist behind Oni, he was my first new artist discovery that I fell in love with. When I first got into the space and we're hanging out on Clubhouse, I found him very, very early on through our Nifty Castle rooms, and he'd come in and hang out with us, and he was doing some other projects. And fun fact, I actually approached him and was trying to get him to do a generative art collection with us for several months. And he was like, no, I can't, I'm too busy. He wasn't into the idea. He didn't like the idea. And then, the team, like the JR and Strawberry and them, they put together a team and came at him with a pitch, at the right time, and ended up getting him to do this project. But like I was actually literally angling and trying to convince him to do a generative project with Nifty Castle before Oni Force, because I fell in love with this dude's art early on in my Clubhouse days. Very talented artist.
Yeah. No, we'll hopefully. I think we had early on as well the Oni Force on like an early edition of NFT Live when Buffalo first came on. We had like a whole thing. I want to make sure this is correct because I'm looking on the sewer passes and GIF. I think you cut off during the sewer pass talk, but this is the Mongrel Vault, which I think is Mongrel's collection. Again, y'all don't, the sharks were circling when I pulled up that fake Oni Force tweet. So careful, guys. I don't. This is not confirmed. Here it is, right here. So this is in fact Mongrel's vault. You can see a 22,000. I don't think this is a bid.
No, he listed it. He listed it for 3.5 mil.
Yeah,
or 3.8 mil.
Yeah, 3.8 million, 2,222 ETH on this one. We'll see if this gets bought up, but this is the number one. It looks like he played multiple. This is what I don't like about what Yuga did. This is crazy. He's got 1, 2, 7, 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's got a lot. Yuga probably could have got in front of this one and made it a little bit harder for someone to play multiple sewer passes. I'm okay with the idea.
Isn't that the way it goes? Isn't that the game?
No, it's not. Because what you have essentially is like all of these NFT assets were played by one person. What you want is the NFT assets played by unique address. I don't care if you paid that person. But if you start to get into the idea of like one person playing 50 accounts, which is essentially how you could look at it, a sewer pass is an account.
They still have to get that high score multiple times. You know how hard it is to get number 1 and 2 and 5 and 10? Do you know?
That's like saying DeAndre Hopkins can catch a ball. That's like saying Lionel Messi can be the top scorer.
I only got one score above 180, and I played for several days. I'm just saying, I don't think it's as easy as like, oh well, they're just good, so they get all the high scores. Like they probably like literally played this but they probably played this day and night for the whole 2 weeks.
I don't have that information, so it's a
but
guess.
But you do kind of know, because you
played
the game. You know it's not easy.
Yeah, but I got 390K on one. I got 340K on another, and 360K on like.
But that wasn't easy.
It's not easy, but the people, again, I got those scores. I own those. I didn't pay those off to anybody.
Aren't you Master Race PC gamer extraordinaire? Isn't that who you are? I really am not vibing with the take that like we're just gonna mercenary out all the accounts on the sewer passes. Like they could have easily just said one account per person. It's just so now so all the top 1,000 accounts. Let's play this out hypothetically. All the 1,000 accounts are 20 people that played 100 different times. It just makes no sense to me. Like why would you want that for your game? Again, I'm not bashing on people paying Mongrel. I'm bashing on. I'm sure.
Mongrel
I'm sure.
Times.
To your point, like they're going to take a lot of these learnings and hopefully improve it, right? Like,
hopefully,
this is a learning experience. It's a giant experiment.
Speaking of experiments, we got Collab Land here.
And also,
Biggie.
wait, like real quick, one other thing to add to this though is that like so much of the ethos of the entire space is rewarding your collectors and your early adopters. So like, let's say that I'm somebody that has invested a tremendous amount of money into collecting 15 bored apes and mutant. Like I've got a whole bag and I've literally either got in super early and held, or I've put in hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy all of these assets with the explicit understanding that I receive value from this ecosystem because I've put so much into it. Do not those people deserve to participate and get rewarded at that level, right? Like, are you saying that you disagree with that too?
No, they should pay whatever they want to a person and just cap it at one per wallet, because unique people playing your game is what's important, not 10 people playing 50,000 different accounts. So that's the idea. It's like, yeah, you want to pay someone to play your game. Hopefully you get Mongrel first, or at least make it harder for the guy to play 15 different accounts. So he's not playing 15 different accounts. Maybe he's playing 4. Like if you just rampant.
If you like, you had what, 4 or 5 apes, right? I mean, like say how, you don't have to say how many, but like you have multiple. Like, do you not want to be able to play for all of your assets? Okay,
so unique ownership, not mercenarying it out, is what I'm trying to do. And I understand there's a technical process there.
Maybe I'm not understanding the difference.
Games should be played by people that want to play that game, not mercenary accounts playing one guy's playing 15 different accounts. Why? How do you think that that's like good for a game? It's kind of.
I think that it incentivizes people to get involved in different ways at the level that they can afford to or want to get involved. I'm not convinced that the mercenary. I'm not convinced that the mercenary aspect is necessarily bad yet. I would be interested, to your point, to see, Q, of the top 1,000 or top 5,000 places, how many wallets like those belong to. I think that would be a really fascinating ratio.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. One guy playing like 20 of the top accounts is just weird to me. Like, I get it. It just doesn't. That's not what you're seeking when you're trying to build a game, is 100 guys playing the top accounts. It's just not. You want multiple.
Yeah. Well, I think to your point, Q, at a certain point, I think that if it becomes a scenario where all of their mechanics are dominated by a small number of people, they will lose interest. I think their interests are aligned to make sure that they find a middle ground, right? Or solve some of this issue, because people will feel like they're getting taken for granted, or not getting a fair shake, right?
Yeah. All right, next piece here. Did God's NFTs? I just want to touch on this topic real quick. It's like, this is just continuously happening. We're seeing this stuff like over and over. Is this going to be a thing that just continues to happen, Biggie? And are you ever buying an NFT on this type of chain?
No, I mean, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin NFTs, but this to me is like the equivalent of regurgitation, in a different fucking chain. That's all you're doing. They're derivatives. I don't know. Like, it just spells bubble to me 100%, right? If the project the gods was born on Solana, I'm not saying it has to stay in Solana. We know they're moving, but this thing about inscribing, like these derivatives on Bitcoin, because the argument is what, like, the whole provenance thing. It's really akin to me just like looking at stickers in a bar, in the bathroom bar. It's just people going in there and doing that. Like, I think there's value to be had there, but you need an actual legit project that is born there, that is born for Bitcoin by the Bitcoin community with their own roadmap and plans, right? Like, this to me is just, Frank the Gods going into the bathroom stall of some fucking hootenanny bar and putting up his fucking stickers everywhere. And Moonbirds did it as well. Punks did it as well. I guess it's a thing, but I don't know. Like, to think that it's going to be valuable sometime, I'm just not convinced. I'm not interested in it. Also, just like because of the current state of the ordinals market, the OTC trades, the everything. It's just like I'm waiting for better infrastructure. There's people that are doing that already. Like the wallet Xverse is already giving you access to like ordinals, but I still think you're gonna need a layer 2 to communicate and to be able to track these assets and custody them safely, right? Until that is available, I think this is just a fucking grift game. And, I'm all for it. Like, whoever's making money, good for you. Just don't be the one left holding the bag. That's my point of view.
I agree. I don't understand why you would spend more money on a derivative with no utility and no infrastructure to support it. Like, why would you pay more for that than for the original asset? To me, logically, it doesn't make sense unless you are using maxi logic. Like, it feels very Bitcoin maxi to me for why you would be spending the types of money that people are, because so much of it relies upon the argument that, well, Bitcoin is the master chain, and so just by nature of it being a Bitcoin ordinal, it therefore is so much more valuable. And I don't know that we have enough data or proof to prove that theory out yet. I think some things that are like the first thing may have some kind of value. Like this guy that burned his ape and is like the first ape to be burned and moved. That might have some value, maybe. I'm very skeptical that will either, because I think you literally just removed the value of that asset from being part of the Yuga ecosystem.
You're not going to get the next Dookie Dash pass or anything like that. They're not tracking that. Like, I think, and again, like, I don't know what that connection from the burn on Ethereum, if it can be properly traced into Bitcoin, right? To show that.
No,
but to me, I mean,
they disowned it. Like, Alec publicly.
Yeah.
Garga.
I mean, it's similar to what they did with punks and what is it? It had a similar name, like Obits or something like that. Like that he burned his punk and then like fractionalized the whole series of like the Obits, and he was like, okay, that makes a little more sense. I'm happy for the Bitcoin community. I think this is a reaction from that side of the space that's been wanting smart contracts and NFTs on it for so long, that when something like this comes along, you seize the moment, right? And you try to amplify it and bring attention to it. And I think I'm happy for that, right? I do think people need to think very long and seriously about the value of having certain assets, including NFTs, on the granddaddy chain of all, right? Like, there is value in that, like, and it's been ignored for so long. But there are, I think, better approaches. And I'm not saying like ordinals. I think like what they came up with was that novel way of storing that asset in the transaction space, right? But it limits you to 5 megabytes, which I didn't know like it was substantial enough to store certain type of assets. But I think Quantum Variant commented in and said, yeah, like, but if you're uploading like a high res like visual or even if you're trying to put video up, then you're limited, right? And so I think you're gonna need that layer 2 coexistence to be able to like amplify that, right? And again, I do think like, you know, like for somebody that has been in the space for some time and like tracking other people that have been like busting their ass to like really form like a native project for Bitcoin, seeing this DGOTS shit and other people like just coming in there and like inscribing their shit up there and like selling it for like multiple Bitcoins, it's ridiculous to me. But hey, degens are gonna do what degens are gonna do, right? So let them.
The interoperability talk that we have on the channel kind of ties in here, right? Like if we want an interoperable future, why can't an ape move to Bitcoin? You know, so that's where it kind of ties in. I will say that there's a couple pieces I'll touch on here. One, there's a fuck ton of money on Bitcoin. People like bought in again at
And
5
stagnant.
cents, and they're just sitting there. They don't really have much to do with it because Bitcoin doesn't have a flourishing ecosystem. So will they end up
you can
buying
unlock that
an ape?
activity? Yeah, it can be insane. But you know, I think in order for, if you want Dookie Dashes on Bitcoin, if you want like to be able to do real like smart contract stuff like you see on Ethereum, you're gonna need a layer 2. Just there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Well, I think Q, you hit on this point a couple times. I think it's a good one, and that's just that there is a ton of value and money in Bitcoin that may find a new utility, and so there might just be liquidity because it's on Bitcoin for these new ordinals. Whether or not they're cool or interesting, there might be a new market there that finds these things interesting. That's really the move. Is it, you're saying, hey, the gods now have a product in this new market potentially. But there's, on the interoperable front, I think it's a very different thing when the gods takes a grant from Polygon to partner and move there, or Doodles partners with Flow to move Doodles to there and do an official collection, versus what's happening right now, whereas people are creating their own unofficial things. So that's a very different thing. If you buy like an ordinal ape or an ordinal punk, you are not affiliated in any way with those original collections. And literally, again, Garga was coming out on Twitter and basically confirming like, yo, whatever you just did is now you are not part of our shit. You don't
have the
an
art
anymore.
provenance play like you were talking about.
Yeah. But it's just a different thing from like an official interoperability partnership, or like moving to another chain or adding omni-chain potential to your existing collection, versus what's happening right now with people like burning or just creating their own derivatives.
And it's like people, they really want to value, like, you know, we use that word provenance, right? But it really you really need to define it a lot more clearly in this particular case, I feel, because like, okay, like there are some people that are like hunting for like early inscriptions, right? Like sub 1,000, like the first 1,000 inscriptions or so. It's like, okay, right, fine. Like that gives you some form of provenance, like, because it's like one of the first 1,000 inscriptions. It doesn't mean that thing was created back in 2009, right? Like it's one thing to have like one of the first inscriptions. There's another thing that where in the chain you can see when, you know, when CryptoPunks was created, you know, 2018, you know, and I don't care if you were the first inscription on Bitcoin, like you're not going to come and try to sell me that on the basis of provenance, right? It's like, yeah, you inscribed it in the first transaction in 2023, motherfucker, not in 2018. And it was not created in Bitcoin. It was created in fucking Ethereum. Get your shit straight. That's not a provenance argument to me. You know, it annoys me. It's a little bit like this numbers game that's trying to emulate loot, right? Where you can get like a single digit number or 420 or 69. And it's like somehow that automatically attributes value to it. It's like, no, there needs to be a little more to it than that, right? Like, sure, like you have the first inscription of ordinals on Bitcoin in 2023. Can I see the art? What's the roadmap? What was it about? Like, does it have any significance? Does it have any gravitas? Or were you just fucking putting stickers up on a bathroom stall?
The significance
and
is
that's
the
what
thing.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm still waiting for. Because I know it is coming. There are people that are very serious about it. And, you know, like we had one of them recently grace our stage over here. And they're coming out with something on ordinals from their project, which is originally from Bitcoin, which to me is a lot more interesting than this derivative crap that's happening right now. But tomato.
from a value perspective, the thesis makes sense to me for like the first one, and if it's a big project, like this isn't gonna work with like long tail collections and things like this. Like the 10th Bored Ape on the Bitcoin blockchain that got burned is not gonna be worth jack shit. It's the first one, and it really doesn't work for like a Yeti. Maybe it works for Yeti because Yeti's the fucking meme, whatever. But I'm just saying.
But how
this
much
is not
is that
gonna
even worth?
Yeah, this is not like the gods that we just saw, for example. Those 500 gods, good luck. Like, good luck retaining any value. That's different than having the one Bored Ape or the first Bored Ape that was inscribed on. It's and burned. So
yeah, so somebody's probably gonna pay a crazy premium for this first Bored Ape, and then never see that money again. I mean, maybe never, not never. Again, we're speculating, but like, why would somebody buy it from you other than to say, look, now I have that thing? Like, there's literally no other reason. So you've got a very small market, and then like somebody that has that much money that's that stupid with money, like.
And it's very FOMO driven too right now. Like it's clearly FOMO driven. Like
that's what I mean. They're paying a premium.
It is insane.
Okay, so we're getting up to the end of the episode. Those that have been commenting along the entire time, Easy, we see you there in chat. Easy Street tonight. Oh, Speakeasy tonight. I always do that. Woo! We've been doing Easy Street for 2 years. Recently got the rebrand, of course, to Speakeasy 3 or 4 months ago. So the fact that I still say that, I need to switch that off. But Speakeasy tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern with Easy and Crypto and Kane Mayfield. Stay tuned for that. We got about
funniest show on Twitter. Funniest
cosign
show on Twitter.
Cosign. We got about 5 minutes left. We did have a long episode. I've got 2 links from you, Biggie.
Bello, dude.
Bello.
Hit Bello, man. I think this is something that will be very interesting to our audience, to you, GIF. And man, I wanted to mention it with Jess, but she can catch up with it later. This is a project by Adam Levy from the Mint podcast. They just got into Y Combinator. I've been tracking it for some time. It is outstanding. It is great. If you want insights into your collector base, if you want to dig deep into a particular project's like holders, what other projects they hold, who is the biggest holder, how long have they held, this is something for you. It's in beta right now, but you can get in. It doesn't take too long, and basically you can just pick whatever project you want to take a look at. It takes a little while right now, so it's like you pick it and it goes in a queue. I started submitting projects a couple of days ago. It takes about like 12, 24 hours to get like your report back, but any project that they already ran a report with, you're able to access immediately. The breakdowns are magnificent. It is really, I think, a game changer, especially for creators that want to know who their collectors are. Like the issue that Jess was just bringing up about some of the DGen wallets, who she does not know who the holders are. This can really aid you with that. Also, you know, for sleuthers like ourselves that want to find out a little more about a particular project, I've been having a ball with it. I highly, highly recommend you all check it out.
Love it. Love it. Okay, we're going to get to the rest of the links that I want to kind of share out here at the end of the episode. We've been talking about Levels.Art with Brian Brinkman and Jordan Lau.
I missed it.
100 out of 100 minted. Yep. So we had, remember that interactive mint with Brian Brinkman there. It looks like all 100 were minted out. Again, Jordan Lyles, Skylab is behind. Venturepunk and Skylab, I believe, are behind this Levels.Art interactive mint. Can I play?
I checked them. They were like at 0.45 right now. The majority of them minted out at 0.25. It's cool. I like it.
I'm controlling this right now. Interesting. All right. Cool. All right. I had.
What is the project? So it's a interactive.
Yeah, I think it's but I think it's on chain GIF. So it's similar to what G Money did with Brick Breaker last year, was it? That basically it's one of these like simple games but completely on chain. And this one's by Brian Brinkman. I like the design of it. It's really cool. Dig it.
Each work is an on-chain playable NFT, 100 editions.
And somebody here, I think it was yesterday, who was it, was talking about, I think it was Jared from NFT Go, was saying he's very bullish on interactive NFTs. And I think this is a part of it, right? Like this is somewhere in the intersection between gaming and interactive NFTs. Not so much interactive art NFTs, although I do consider Brian Brinkman an artist, so it could be argued. But
yeah, I wonder.
Cool.
I wonder how the results, if there's like we saw with Sewer Passes, the result actually ended up like changing the metadata for your NFT. I wonder how that works with this platform, Levels.Art. Is it just like, hey, I'm playing the game that I mint and it has no bearing on what I get, or does you playing the game change the NFT in any way? That's my
that would be cool. That's a good idea. Yeah.
We got digital.paint. I also wanted to shout out that Collab Land. Gif, you brought this up in today's GM Web3 Collab Land, the Discord bot that everybody knows.
Squashman, called this to our attention.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, they're doing a token. You can see the eligibility requirements for Collab Land's token here. If you want to go to that link that I just dropped, let us know if you get some Collab Land. I think they had it for mainly their holders, as well as the top 100 Discord communities.
So here's a question for you, for all of you here, because of course, DIDNT immediately started snatching up these NFTs. Now, if you're Collab Land, that's obvious that the intention here is farming and most probably dumping those tokens. Would you reward them, or would you reward the ones that have diamond handed all the way through and haven't sold? And even then, it's a bot versus something like Blur, like we were discussing. How bullish would you be on the token?
There's a lot of complexities of figuring out if Collab Land's token's going to do well, but
tokenomics.
Yeah.
Let's do a whole nother show on that right now.
Biggie, I will say they have a lot of users. Like I would love to look at the user base.
100%, and it's I think like 28,000 the NFT collection. I'm just saying from an airdrop farmer's point of view, and like we talk a lot in this show about rewarding your loyal users and collect. I picked up an NFT from them when they came out, which was I think last year or year before. It's been like forever. I totally forgot about that thing. I checked my wallet; it was in the hidden folder. And obviously, I immediately saw everybody rushing in and the price going up. I'm like, should I pick some more up? But it gave me pause for that very reason. One, it's like, what's the functionality of this token? What's the promise of this token? It's been quiet forever. All of a sudden, they're going to reward everybody. And it's like, okay, like, I hope whoever's picking them up, if you make money, great. But then also, I started thinking, what's their intent for this? And how are they going to reward their users? Because if I was Collab Land, I would not necessarily reward the people picking up these passes last minute, or at least not in the same dimension as somebody who's diamond handing, right? And like has held them the whole time through, right? I don't know what their intent here is with that token again.
And then what if somebody hired somebody to collect a bunch of them for them? I mean, how do you reward them?
Exactly.
Some of that came back to, and that came back to the discussion we were having on Superpass. It's like, okay, how are you rewarding the people that are within your community? Again, you want the people that are actually in your community to be the most rewarded, which is what Biggie was talking about. You want to have a tier system, and the people that are most dedicated should get the most rewards.
Yeah. And I agree with what Squashman's saying. It's like you should reward the direct users of your product, the founders of your projects that haven't switched, say, to Vulcan or other stuff more, right? Because they remain loyal to you, and let the founders decide how to distribute or make best use of those tokens, whatever the functionality is going to be, and if you're going to reward like individual users, like the NFT collectors, you best be looking at me, who unconsciously held like forever, and I'm not selling because I'm diamond handing. So you should
The
give
Diamond
me
Hand
the
rating?
maximum reward.
Biggie's really hoping that the Collab Land founders and owners are watching this show right now and
Yes,
taking
Clip it.
notes.
pay
That's what's
attention.
happening right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Squash coming down with the alfalfa from the top ropes here. Some of the top 100 discords: Axie, NBA Top Shot, BAYC, Avagachi. This is what's really cool, and we're at the end of the episode. We got one more story that I want to hit, and then we can roll up out of here. But this is what's awesome too about the Web3 space: the composability. You're in NBA Top Shot, and you potentially get rewarded for being in that community because another business springs up. That's dope. And this brings me to my next story here. I also hate when projects say we're launching a token for governance, which is what Collab Land did. But that's a whole nother,
Yeah. Like,
that's a
what else is
whole
it other
nother-
than that? Because that's not going to hold value. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah, that's not a big fan of that. But anyways, I at the risk of kind of just throwing off my entire self-worth, we got Burn Island here from Gary Vee talking about composability, and right at the moment that we needed to talk about Gary Vee, Gifted's getting a call from Gary Vee, so he's watching.
You best not be. No.
He's watching. So from my understanding, and I can get Gifted to come in here and real quick and talk about it, but this potentially leads to like other projects, NFTs being burned within the VeeFriends scope to get VeeFriends NFTs. But go ahead, Big.
So, well, yeah, man, he's telling them off, dude. It's important. I was gonna ask Giff if he finally found his forever Avagachi. That's what I was really curious about.
All right, let me read this. VeeFriends announces the launch of Burn Island today. Burn Island is a new platform in the VeeFriends universe. It allows VeeFriends NFT holders to burn their NFTs. In exchange, they get access to events, physicals, or virtual rewards, and other rare or valuable NFTs. By burning
That's
NFTs,
insane.
Burn Island rewards, surprises, and engages VeeFriend holders. So, Biggie, I know we're sitting at 2 hours right now. I know it's a longer
Sorry.
episode, but the conversation I was trying to have was basically like the composability there. Like, you're a whole nother NFT project that partners with VeeFriends, and you now get the ability to have a deflationary system set up for you. So VeeFriends chooses their partner. They say, Deadfellas, you guys can come to Burn Island, and now you can burn Deadfellas to receive some type of reward.
That's insane. It reminds me a lot about from PAX Ash, right? Like, remember that? Like, you could burn POC's works and you would get rewarded with a certain amount of Ash tokens. And PAC's own, artwork was the ones that got you the highest rewards, which you could then use to buy more PAC art. But you could also burn other art, other NFTs, and get rewarded with Ash. It's an interesting concept. I don't know how I feel about it because most of the NFTs I mint, I like, and I'm a fan of their projects or of the art, and so I'm not particularly interested in parting with it, especially in such a manner as like burning, right? I don't mind staking for a very long period of time, but burning them now. If you told me that you will reward me for burning my shit NFTs, oh damn, I'm all for it.
Exactly.
I am all for that. Hell yeah. Maybe like get myself a, Gary Vee NFT just with burn tokens. That's pretty cool. I'm not too, I don't know exactly what the particularities are gonna or the function you're gonna be. I don't know. Do you think he's gonna? I mean, if he asks you to burn Gary Vee NFTs, like, he best reward you proper. That's all I have to say. Because I know, like, with PAC, like, initially when that happened, that's when you saw, like, I think it was the cubes at that moment that were pretty, like hot. And, like, you could get rid of a cube for, like, 25, 30K. And I really do believe it was mostly because people were after them so that they can burn them for Ash and get other stuff. And some of the artwork that has come out of out of the Ash ecosystem from POC, I have to say it's really, really cool.
Squash is saying would not burn a Tupac for POC. And Quantum Verity, you can also sell art for Ash as well.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what novel mechanics he came up with. If it's, again, I don't think Gary Vee is the type of person that would just like take that, just that playbook and copy pasta it. So I'm sure he's got a particular angle that he's going to be going for, and let's see what happens, and let's see if Gift decides to burn something, throw a chungo down fucking volcano and see what happens.
I don't know if you're going to be able to burn other types of NFTs. I apologize about that. That was the repair shop for my motorcycle I had to talk to. But yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to burn other types of NFTs here, or if it's just VeeFriends contracts, or if they have partners with certain other projects that want a deflationary, event. I'm excited to kind of just dig in and see what this is, because I think it's a really interesting new model or idea where they're trying to storytell around burning on a bigger sort of collection and a bigger level, right? It's not just like, hey, burn your tokens for another thing. It's like, hey, we're literally building this whole theme park-esque experience and promoting it like it's a big fun event. And, there's going to be a lot of different gamification and rewards and things that are happening. And, different burns might have different aspects. And then like, if you have certain NFTs in your wallet, it affects your chances, because apparently having a VeeFriend 1 means that you'll be able to burn differently or get different odds or different rewards. So I think this is a fascinating new development in terms of what burn mechanics can do within, some of these bigger collections. And again, the storytelling around it, I think is next level. I don't think we've seen something like it.
Yeah, Neopets-esque with their branding, and I kind of like it. Honestly, I do. I don't know if I'm like spend every day in it, but I like the way it works.
Were you the one? Somebody was saying it's like the ride, like Disney, theme park ride, like Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and it's like it's absolutely right, because I think that's their target, is the fun, family friendly Disneyland-esque. It's the kids' toys and in the fucking gift shop, and that's the brand.
All right, folks, close your eyes. I'm out. Close your eyes. Are you at the theme park in Disneyland when you hear this announcer? Are you at a line that's waiting 35 minutes to hop on a adventure ride in Disneyland? Check it out.
The jungle of regeneration over the raging bowels of the underrated underworld is a place of untold power. Burn Island is an incredible new addition to the VeeFriends world. A ground.
All right, open your eyes.
Yeah.
Were you transported?
Yeah, I felt like I was about to get on Jurassic Park or something, or like, Pirates of the Caribbean, or one of those for sure. Yeah.
Prodigy saying Club Penguin. That's a shout out. Okay, folks, 2 hours and 7 minutes. I don't think that's our record, guys, but that was pretty damn close. So we are going to get up out of here. I'll let you guys have the last words. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to the last NFT Live of the week. We'll be back next week. We will have Speakeasy tonight. We have a lot of different shows on the network. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Our vibe, our tribe. Biggie, you want to go first, and then we'll end with Gifted.
Yeah, what a great episode. I'm looking forward to Jess's drop. So interesting. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Love you.
Hell yeah. We still got more Biggie before he leaves us. That makes me happy. And look, a lot happening. It's been another big week. Appreciate everybody in the tribe for hanging out with us. OPENSEA is coming on Web3 next week to talk more about XXGen and their new, C drops protocol. I'm excited to learn more, get some of the info about that. We got some big giveaways going, especially for Web3 Denver. Can we throw up that QR code again? We got new QR code tech, so we got to show this off. This is important here. W3B3.life, fam. That is the spot. And if you scroll to the bottom, there's a big giveaway happening right now. We are still putting together the program. There it is. He's got the big hand. Look at that. Damn, your hand just got huge. We are putting it together right now. We're still adding new sponsors, new artists to the program. So stay tuned. Be part of that if you can. Denver's going to be lit. Chungo Mansion party happening. Mo Runda's going to be there. Jess is going to be there. So many amazing artists and partners. Nifty Kit is a new sponsor. It's going to be awesome. The Marijuana Mansion is going to be crazy. So get in on that giveaway. And yeah, we'll see you next week. I don't know. Have a great weekend. Our Vibe, our tribe.
Our Vibe, our tribe.